One of the coolest parts about graphing functions, polynomial functions, is you have these lovely, pretty little curves. But what you're going to have is you also have these curves. We also call them turning points. Okay, I like to call them turning points. These are called your relative minimum and relative maximum. So in this case, this graph down here, if you have point A, this is where your graph goes up and curves back down. This is your relative maximum. I have a relative named Max. Anybody else? And that means that there are no other points nearby that have a greater y coordinate. And this is your highest y value. You can't go any higher for this graph. Point B then is going to be called your relative minimum. Sorry, minimum. I don't have a relative min. Sorry. No relatives named min. These are actually called extrema. So if you are asked to find your relative extrema, that means your relative max or min. Your extreme value that's the highest and your extreme value that's the smallest. So let's go ahead and graph example 3 here. We have our table, so we have our x's and our y's. We're going to go to our graphing calculator, type in y equals, we have an x to the third, so x to the third. Hope you guys are noticing that this is much easier than just plugging all of these values into your graph or into an equation and trying to find them. So type in your function, and then we're going to look at your graph. So graph, here's our graph. Oh hey, looks like we might be able to find some min or maxes. Let's see if we can go between -3 and 3. That should give us our curves in here. So let's go second table, and we're going to type in these numbers on our table. So you're going to say from your x values from -3 all the way down, or actually up to a +3. And when you type these in, you get -49 for your y. Here you get -15. -1, you get a 1. 0, 5. Hey, that looks like a y-intercept. Oh, well, you know, same thing. 1, 3. 2, 1, and 3, 5. So let's plot these points. So back 3 down 49. Can't really do that. Back 2 down 15. Can't really do that. Back 1 down, up 1. Actually, here we go. Great times. 0, 5. Here we go. Over 1 up 3. And over 2 up 1. And over 3 up 5. So notice this question is asking you to do different work. It's asking you to find a relative max or relative min. And when you do this, you have to estimate your x coordinates. So make sure you're paying attention to the directions. And so if we list our x coordinates, we have to list what happens at each of those. So we're going to find our relative max. So that's going to be where your graph goes up and curves back down. So relative max should be at this point right here. Well, this point would be at x equals 0. If we want to find our relative min, then that means that's going to be at the point right here. It is min. That's at x equals 2. So here's x equals 2. So make sure you only list your x coordinates, not your x and your y's. That's how you can use your graph to find